Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 84 of our AEW series. And the Grand Prix nights are done, but we do still have the final just over a week today of in-game time, of course. I think for you guys it'll be another 2 episodes or so. What I'm going to do, I think I mentioned the schedule last episode. I think looking at our upload schedule, I think this is due to come out on the Monday. So we're going to have Dynamite as its standalone thing on the Tuesday. We'll have the next Collision as its own standalone thing on the Thursday. And then we will end the week with the Grand Prix final. And then following on from that, we will just continue as normal. We'll mush Dynamite and Collision back together, and it'll be our regular showing as it was before the Grand Prix became a thing. But we are here for Collision. It is the, you could say, fallout of Night 4 of the deciding, tournament, where we can see that it is Volta taking on Kenny Omega at the Grand Prix final. Very, very excited to see what happens there. But, that's in like 3 episodes time, Ted. Chill out. We've got Collision here, and we're starting in the pre-show with Athena and Mia Yim teaming up and taking on Hijo and Miyu Yamashita. I can't remember if I mentioned this a while ago, but Mia Yim has announced that she will be retiring from wrestling in 3 months. That was maybe a month and a half ago now, I think. So, interesting that we gave her the win here. We are going to have to start making her job soon, especially because we want Yamashita. And Yamashita for 71. We want her stringing some wins together because she could definitely be a big star for AEW's women division. But yeah, she carried the match in terms of performance. Athena, a little bit disappointing here, 62. She definitely needs to, work on herself a little bit. But a 67 overall, not the worst. The second and final pre-show match is just 2 people. Haven't used a great deal. I say that, Lio Rush was on the thumbnail like a week ago. But Dralistico taking on Lio Rush and Dralistico losing, not winning. Lio Rush gets the win with the Rush Hour. Lio Rush will be leaving us soon to go on tour with his band. Apparently he's a part of a band, so he'll be leaving. He'll be gone for 2-3 months and then he'll be back. But a good 71 from Lio Rush here, 55 from Dralistico. He's like the forgotten man of La Faction. But we got him a little pre-show match here because we're kind. But that is it for the pre-show. On the show tonight, we're going to hear from Kenny Omega, obviously winning the B block. We will also see AJ Styles in action. Let's see if he can actually do something. Our main event tonight is another FTW World Title match. It's Hook defending his title against El Hijo del Vikingo, and that will be our main event for tonight, among many other things that we've got planned. So without wasting any more time, let's head straight into the main show, where we kick off with some tag team action between the Lucha Brothers and the Legion of Pain. And in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, the Lucha Brothers got the win. They defeated the Legion of Pain in 21 minutes when Pentagon Jr. pins Dinza with the assisted Fear Factor. 77 overall, not the best, but that's just because Legion of Pain were dragging it down a little bit. You can see Ray Fenix and Pentagon hitting the mid-90s with their performance, so it's definitely them carrying this match. There was not enough selling showing. I can't imagine these 2 guys selling too much, but yeah, we've got a whole bunch of green, and they got the show to a strong start. And post-match, Pentagon grabs the microphone, and he calls out Pac. He says that, Pac, you have broken the triangle, you have broken our trust, and we want revenge. I want revenge. So Pentagon Jr. has challenged Pac to an anything goes match at the Grand Prix final. That means no disqualifications, no rope breaks, no countouts, just Pentagon, Pac, just to get it all off their chest. Ray Fenix, I think, is happy to take a backseat, although you never know, he could get involved, but he has challenged, he set the challenge out there for Pac to see if he will accept it. Spoiler alert, the graphic will pop up at some point tonight, let's just pretend it does, confirming that anything goes match between Pentagon and Pac is happening next Sunday, so that is in the books. There's no Pac on this show, but let's just say it has been accepted by Tony Khan and Nigel McGuinness. So that's another match in the books for the Grand Prix final. Following this, though, we get that Kenny Omega promo discussing his win, you know, the patience that he's had, you know, working with the Elite and then working with Kota, which has been, you know, some of the best matches he's had of his career, and having the opportunity to stand out as a single star again in AEW, because it's been a long time since he has managed to do that. You know, and just as he's, you know, thanking people and saying that he's ready to take on Volta and then take on whoever it is at All Out, Hangman Page comes down and interrupts. Good old Hangman Page. And Hangman Page basically, you know, congratulates Kenny Omega, says, look, well done, man. You know, you bested me. You bested virtually everyone in our block, and you are deserving of this opportunity. But I want to remind you, we still have our tag team title rematch, and that match is happening the collision after the Grand Prix final. Win or lose at the Grand Prix final, Kenny, and Bandito and I will be waiting on Saturday. So that's 2 weeks from now. That will be our main event. It'll be the Golden Lovers taking on Hangman Page and Bandito for those AEW World Tag Team Championships. So that is something to look forward to in the coming episodes. After this, though, we have got AJ Styles in action. Someone who I'm very tempted to just kick out because his numbers have been crap. I mean, Shane Haste put in a better performance than him recently, so that says something. And he is taking on Konosuke Takeshita, just to see if Takeshita can help him a little bit. So let's see how that match goes down. Fucking 71. They've got great chemistry as well, and it's a 71. In a decent match, Konosuke Takeshita gets the win. He defeats AJ Styles in 22 minutes with the wall of Takeshita. AJ Styles with a 62. This is like Adam Cole, Shinsuke Nakamura all over again, but worse. Actually, no, Shinsuke was worse. So, if I'm being honest, this might be the last time we see AJ Styles. That can go away. Yeah, this might be the last time that we see AJ in an AEW ring. Which sucks, because I brought him in and I was like, oh, AJ Styles is going to be so sick, you know. We've got so many former Bullet Club members. There's potential for a crazy storyline down the line, but he's just been shit. So, yeah. Also, I checked on Adam Cole. He's doing pretty well in Ring of Honor, so I might bring him up for some dark matches. Because I don't know if I told you this, guys. I got rid of Rampage and I brought back Dark. Don't know why, just did. So I've got Dark and I record 4 episodes. I book 4 shows at a time. So just once a month, I book 4 Dark episodes, you know, just a bunch of people that I want to get momentum, to see how they work as a tag team, things like that. Anyone that might have ring rust or whatever. Yeah, so Adam Cole might feature on Dark a few times before he makes it to, you know, the main show, the shows that you guys see. But yeah, AJ Styles, shit. Following this, though, we head backstage where Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker are together again. And this time, it's Jamie Hayter who tells Britt Baker that she has organised a match for them later on this evening. So Jamie says, Britt, I will meet you in the ring. And, you know, very friendly attitude from Jamie Hayter here. And it seems like they're maybe back on the same terms. We'll have to wait and see. But their match is later on tonight. We stay backstage where we head to Nigel McGuinness's office, and he has both Rebecca Knox and Maki Ito sat at his desk. Obviously, neither of them are very happy with each other. They're kind of giving each other dirty looks and stuff. And Nigel says, I brought you guys into my office just to confirm a match that I have organised for the Grand Prix final. Rebecca, you've been very impressive as of late. You know, you've taken on a handful of Maki Ito's Respect Army. Maki, you've been an incredible international champion, someone that we in AEW are very proud of. And we can see that there is a rivalry and some issues brewing between the two of you. So we figured, what better way to kind of get all of this stuff off your chest than to have a match at the Grand Prix final. And to add a little bit more spice, Rebecca, you will be challenging Maki Ito for her AEW Women's International title. It's official. Next Sunday, you two will be facing one-on-one in the ring. And Maki, just to make sure it's a fair fight, your Respect Army are banned from ringside. So there we go, another announcement for the Grand Prix final. Rebecca Knox getting her chance at Maki Ito for the AEW Women's International title, formerly known as the TBS title. And Ito's Respect Army are banned from ringside, which will make it a much fairer fight than it has been in the past whenever Maki has been in ring against certain folk. But following on from this, we still don't head back to the ring. I think I've booked an angle. Yeah, I've booked like 4 angles in a row. But then we finished with 3 matches in a row. So, hey-ho. We head to the locker room now, where Jon Moxley is talking to his boys, Zack Sabre Jr. and Shane Haste. Wheeler Yuta is not there because he's injured. And Jon Moxley just says that Jeff Cobb, AJ Styles, neither of them are issues or worries for the Combat Club anymore. We are far superior than both of them in any way. If they try anything, they know what's going to happen. The same with Claudio. Claudio's gone. We don't have to worry about him. We just need to focus on ourselves. And yeah, Zach, Shane, maybe it's about time you guys got some belts of your own. And just as Moxley's kind of finishing his speech, Keith Lee walks in. Shane Haste obviously backs off and goes, oh shit, I'm not messing up with this. And Keith says, John, sorry to interrupt. I'm not here for you. Don't worry. I'm here for this little punk. And he kind of squares up to Zack Sabre Jr. and says, you are what cost me my final spot at the Grand Prix. So you are going to face me next week at Collision. And Zack Sabre Jr. is like, no, I'm not. And Moxie steps in and goes, yes, you are. Yes, you are. But Keith, how about you put that belt on the line? And Keith Lee just says, we'll see. And then he kind of just like pokes Zack Sabre Jr. in the chest, knocking him back a little bit. So that match is confirmed for next week. We'll get Keith Lee taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Keith wanting a piece of Zack because it seems like he is the one that cost him the win over Jon Moxley in the final night of the Grand Prix. So, yeah, Keith is not a happy bunny, and you do not want to be on the bad side of big bad Keith Lee. But that should be a good match. Keith Lee is obviously massive and huge threat, but Zack Sabre Jr. just finds a way of wriggling around these big guys and, making them tap or whatever. So, yeah, should be a very interesting match, especially when you've got Shane Haste and Jon Moxley in your corner. Following this, though, we have another angle. I'm so sorry. The ordering of this is terrible. And it is Renee interviewing Toni Storm. And Toni Storm basically, is taking the piss out of Demi Bennett. She says that Demi ran away. She escaped to Dynamite this week because she was afraid that third time lucky Toni Storm would defeat her and take her AEW Women's Championship. And obviously Toni Storm is here, gassing it up, taking the piss out of Demi, not realizing that the giant that is Demi Bennett has just appeared behind Toni Storm, at which Toni eventually realizes, turns around, and Demi says, you think I'm scared of you, Toni? Okay, well, how about this? At the Grand Prix final, I will step out into the ring, issuing an open challenge. However, that open challenge will be for no one except you, Toni. So if you do think that you're Toni third time's a charm Storm, I will see you next Sunday in that ring. And then Demi just pats Toni Storm on the head and walks out. So Renee is like, well, there you have it, Toni. You've got your third match. And Tony's like, haha, yeah. So it seems like that is another match booked if Toni Storm decides to turn up. We're getting plenty of women's matches on this card. All 3 women's titles. Technically the IWGP Women's is an AEW title for now, as Hikaru Shida is the holder. Will feature at the Grand Prix final, and hopefully all 3 will be excellent matches. Speaking of matches, we finally got one. Just a random exhibition match this is. I just wanted to see what would happen. It is Kota Ibushi and Ilya Dragunov in an 80 rated match. I will take that. In a bout. that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Kota Ibushi defeats Ilya Dragunov of House of Black in 13 minutes with the Kamegoi. Kota with a 72. Kota getting some really good back-to-back wins in singles action. You know, he's kind of been on his own for the past month, really, because Kenny Omega has been busy with the Grand Prix final, but they will both be in action very soon for defending their World Tag Team Championships. But Ilya Dragunov put on a good show here, outperforming Kota Ibushi, but unfortunately not getting the win. So yeah, will anything come of this match, or will it just be a simple one-on-one that means nothing? We'll have to wait and see. But heading into the ring again, we have got Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, as Jamie Hayter organised a tag team match in a similar fashion that Brit did a few weeks ago. And it is the team of Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker taking on Ashley Blackheart and Chris Statlander. 71 rated match, pretty good. Whoa, Jamie Hayter with an 85. My goodness. Jamie Hayter, of course, gets the win in 11 minutes when she pins Chris Statlander with a Falcon Arrow. In terms of ring work, of course, Jamie is head and shoulders above everyone else. Ashley with a 50, Chris Statlander with a 59, Britt Baker with a pretty decent 71. Normally, she's not that good. And Jamie Hayter just blowing us all out of the water with an 85 rated performance. You know, performance of Jamie Hayter stood out. Of course it did. She is incredible, and I love her a lot. But yeah, 71 rated overall. You know, not amazing, but considering who's in this match, very, very good. But this does now take us to the main event. Hook defending his FTW World title again against El Hijo del Vikingo, the kind of wrestler that, you know, is very unpredictable. Can Hook survive and retain? But we do have to be aware of the Calvin Tankman that could be lurking in the background. So let's see what happens in this main event match. 77. Oh, not the best. I feel like this is going to be a pretty shit collision. In a bout that had great wrestling, apparently, and a decent reaction from the crowd, it is Hook who defeats El Hijo del Vikingo in 20 minutes with the Red Rum. But during the match, though, we did have Calvin Tankman interfere and attack Hook. But Hook managed to still get the win, reversing a real high-risk move from El Hijo and turning it into that Red Rum submission, and eventually getting the win. Tankman, of course, on the ramp, very angry that Hook still managed to get the win. So it seems like down the line we are going to get a Hook Tankman match, or rematch, I should say, because I believe they did have one recently. But yeah, looking at the performances, Hook again killing it, 87. El Hijo with a 74. Yeah, Hook's got that groundswell of public support still. And that is how we end the show. We do have a post-match segment that I put in just in case AJ Styles was dog shit, and I was right. So let's just jump to that backstage segment. Adam Cole is backstage at AEW, and AJ Styles is just sat there taking off his kick pads, really like down and pissed off at himself. You know, he's like, come on AJ, you're better than this. Like, what's happened to you? You've been crap since you've joined AEW. And Adam Cole says, I know the feeling. And AJ's like, what? And Adam Cole just comes over and just says, AJ, come to Ring of Honor, man. Trust me. It'll change you. It'll change you. And AJ's kind of nodding. He's like, maybe I will see you down there. And Adam Cole says, I look forward to it. And that is the final segment of the show. Obviously not on this is a post-show segment. So Adam Cole kind of goading AJ Styles to Ring of Honor. And you know what? After I finish recording this and, you know, I head back to the office, AJ Styles is being moved to Ring of Honor. So, yeah, I mean, Ring of Honor's getting stacked, but that's if AJ can put the performances. I will take a look at him because he is on a handshake deal, which means we can just end it at any time. So if he's not putting the work in Ring of Honor, then he will just simply be released. But let's see how bad we did. I think we're going to lose some popularity. Oh, we didn't. Wow. Just about. What was it that saved us? We didn't get a single match. Oh, Kota, that was an 80. I mean, it could have been these two segments that saved us. But this is a very, I mean, I say average show. We got like high 70s across the board. But still, we need to be hitting that 80 plus. And we did somehow. But yeah, that is the end of this episode. AJ Styles, see you later, mate. Hook still defending his title. Whether he has a match at the Grand Prix final, we don't know yet. But we will have to wait and see what happens on both Dynamite and Collision in the next 2 episodes. That's really going to flesh out that Grand Prix card. So far, we've got some big matches though. Pentagon Pack. We've got Jade Cargill taking on Hikaru Shida. Demi Bennett set the challenge for Toni Storm. Rebecca Knox and Maki Ito. We also have the Grand Prix final, Volta and Kenny Omega. And I think that's everything confirmed so far. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry, it kind of felt like a bit of a nothing episode, but at the same time, we've got a bunch of matches announced. I do still want to rest most of the Grand Prix guys, just because they will likely feature at the Grand Prix. But until then, we've got Dynamite, we've got Collision, then we've got the Grand Prix final, and then it should be back to our regular, program. But with that, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you all, hopefully, in the next one.